increased focus on managing stress and the importance of well-being all over the news. Mental health challenges, stress, and burnout are at an all-time high. And with many people continuing to work from home, our work and personal lives are even more intertwined. As someone who has been in the human capital space for over 25 years, I can say with confidence that creating a culture of well-being in our organizations has never been more important. But what you may not realize is that one of the most important ways to increase wellness in your organization is by walking the walk and taking care of yourself. Think about the message we hear on every airplane. Please put the oxygen mask on yourself before helping anybody else around you. And when organizations don't have a culture of well-being, there are real bottom line implications. According to a 2021 Gallup Wellbeing Survey, employees who report they're struggling or suffering in their lives have 2 times the amount of turnover. Here are some ways for you to walk the walk. Number 1, consider talking about some of your own challenges. According to a 2021 mental health survey from Ginger, 88% of employees appreciate when their leaders talk about their own mental health. Number 2, leave loudly. Instead of sneaking out to see your child's baseball game, take your parent to a doctor, or go to your favorite yoga class, do it loudly and proudly. Your employees will be much more likely to do the same. And number 3, talk about the importance of physical and mental wellness, and then do it again and again. While 70% of CEOs say they're accepting of emotional and mental health issues in the workplace, only 35% of employees actually believe it's true. Creating a culture of wellness has always been important to the human leader, but the pandemic has taken these issues to a whole new level. As human leaders, we need to take this seriously, and the first step is to walk the walk, take care of ourselves, and make sure everyone around us knows about it. Creating a culture of wellness has always been important to the human leader. The pandemic, however, has taken these issues to a whole new level. As human leaders, we need to take this seriously, and the first step is to walk the walk, take care of ourselves, and then make sure that everyone around us knows about it. It's only natural to want to return to normalcy. We've all been through a lot. But when it comes to well-being at work, life is anything but normal. In the beginning of the pandemic, it seemed like leaders were spending 60 minutes of a 60-minute meeting checking in with their employees. It felt so necessary and so natural. 6 months into the pandemic, it was closer to 30 minutes of checking in. These days, however, we're mostly back to business as usual. Learning how to balance checking in and getting other work done has been a challenge for leaders. But checking in is critical to the well-being of employees and to the bottom line. As leaders, you need to keep doing it. And here's the good news. It's the little things that count. You don't have to spend all day checking in, but you do have to do it regularly. Research shows that when employees are checked in with, they feel supported and report fewer mental health challenges. Unfortunately, only 39% of employees feel supported by their manager. Less than half felt their manager was attuned to their well-being. And employees who reported that their company had taken action in addressing their needs are 28% more likely to report an improvement in their mental health. Are you convinced yet? A little checking in really does go a very long way. So how do we go from a box check to a real human check-in? Here are a few examples. Before the pandemic, as part of the leadership training program at Dropbox, leaders were encouraged to ask this very human question. How are you really, really doing? Why? Because we all know how easy it is not to answer the "how are you doing" question truthfully. But if you ask, how are you really, really doing? Your employees will know that you sincerely care about the answer. At another company, leaders ask each employee to share one word at the beginning of every meeting that describes how they are feeling that day. It's a great way for leaders to take the pulse on how their employees are feeling, and it gives them an opportunity to follow up with them later to see how they are really, really doing. I know it might feel funny and repetitive to keep checking in, but trust me, employees aren't getting annoyed. It's actually quite the opposite. One study found that 63% of employees asked for daily updates, and 20% wanted communication from their leaders several times a day. So if you want to build a culture of wellness into your organization, check in early and often. You won't be surprised to hear that 69% of workers are saying that this is the most stressful time in their careers. These are turbulent times, to say the least, and employees who report that they're suffering or struggling are more likely to leave their jobs, which really puts the pressure on us as leaders, doesn't it? But here's the good news. There is no one right way to build a culture of well-being into your organization. One size definitely does not fit all. That means that you get to think about your company values and what works best for you and your business. Here are some examples. Meetup is an online platform for people to, what else? Meet up, virtually and in real life. During the pandemic, CEO David Siegel saw the need to focus on wellness, so he decided to reallocate funds used for office space to his people. He increased the amount because he knew that wellness means different things to different people. Each employee at Meetup can use the stipend to bring wellness into their lives in their own way. It could be a massage, a meditation app, a relaxing dinner with a friend. At National Business Capital, CEO Joe Camerato brings wellness into his workplace early and often. Early as in early in the day. Every day at 9:01 a.m., a team member leads a morning stretch. According to Joe, it puts us all into a positive place each morning. It's like a mini meditation. And we spend so much time sitting at desks these days, even a short stretch is good for our collective wellness. Another great example from Citigroup is CEO Jane Fraser. When Fraser became CEO in 2021, she implemented Zoom-free Fridays. As she said in an article, the blurring of lines between home and work and the relentlessness of the pandemic workday have taken a toll on our well-being. Don't we know it? Look, this isn't rocket science. The key to creating wellness at work is to look closely at your employees and your values. Instead of trying to fit your workplace into a model of wellness, look at it the other way around.